Hi, my name is Chris Jackson. I am a business attorney. I've been one for over 25 years, and today I'm going to show you how simple it is to start an LLC in the state of Arizona on your own. I'm going to take you through this process step by step in a walkthrough real-time screen share. I'm going to answer every question I think you would have along the way so that by the end of the video, when you're ready to form your Arizona LLC, you know you'll be setting it up exactly the way that you want. Please note that the link below to this walkthrough screen share is an affiliate link. It's not going to cost you anything extra. However, it will help support my channel and give me a little extra coffee money, which is much appreciated and needed to make these videos. Let's admit it, this topic is pretty dry. I thank you for that. You should also know that I only recommend companies or services that I use myself and I believe in. I've used Busy for years exclusively for my own LLCs and my clients' LLCs. The reason I do that is because their pricing is very fair and competitive. You get a lot for what you pay for. Their service is great, and the process and procedure, as you're about to see, is simple and straightforward. Before we get started, go ahead and select the link below in the description under this video. I will also put in the comments section and post it to the top. This link will take you to the very web page where I'm going to start the walkthrough screen share step by step. Hi, really quickly, I just want to introduce you to my dog, Jax. He likes to make an appearance in all my videos. Jax, look at the camera. Okay, go ahead and select the link below in the description under this video or in the comments section, and we'll go to the walkthrough screen share right now. Okay, if you selected the link under the video in the description or in the comments section, you would have arrived here. Before we go to the next page, I just want to point out there's a customer service number here. Hopefully I will answer all of your questions and you won't need them, but if you do need them, you can call them at any time. I have found them to be very responsive and helpful. So let's go ahead and press this orange Get Started button. Okay, for entity type, you're going to choose LLC. For state, you're going to choose Arizona. And that brings you down to three options. As you can see, you have the basic, standard, and premium packages. I'm going to go over each package so you make an informed decision. I will say that for most people, in my opinion, the standard package makes the most sense. All right, let's go ahead and start with the basic package. As you can see, in the basic package, you're not going to pay Busy anything. You're only going to pay the $85 state filing fee in the state of Arizona, and they will do the following in the basic package. Number one, they're going to prepare and file your LLC's Articles of Organization in the state of Arizona. This is the document, once filed in the state of Arizona, will officially form your Arizona LLC. And one thing I should point out real quick is that if you want your LLC to be a manager-managed LLC in the state of Arizona, Arizona is one of those states where it indicates on the Articles of Organization the management structure of the LLC. The default will be member-managed LLCs. If you want it to be manager-managed, you have to let Busy know after you press this final button to form your LLC that you don't want the default member-managed. You want your LLC to be manager-managed. Next item that's included in the basic package is free first-year registered agent service. So every LLC needs to designate a registered agent. That registered agent will be public knowledge in the state of Arizona. You can look them up on the state website. You need to have a registered agent, so if, God forbid, your LLC gets sued, plaintiff in that lawsuit needs to know to whom or to what company to serve that lawsuit in person. So your registered agent has to be someone that can receive service of process during normal business hours in person. You can be your own registered agent, or you can designate a third party to be your registered agent. They're going to give you that service for free in the first year, and then in the following years, they're only going to charge you $119 per year, and they're going to cap it at $119. They promise never to raise that rate. By the way, the $119 per year is the cheapest I've found amongst all of their competitors. You're going to have the option to choose to be your own registered agent or appoint them to be the registered agent later on in the process. Okay, the next item that's included in the basic package is an online access dashboard. That is essentially a website that you're going to be able to log into after you go through this process. Within that dashboard is going to be, for example, your Articles of Organization. Once filed, you'll need a copy of those. A PDF copy of the articles will be in that dashboard. You'll need that to open a bank account, for example, and to do other things. You can also schedule appointments through the online access dashboard. If you have other documents that are included in the standard and the premium packages, then those will be in there as well. I find it to be very convenient. I use it all the time. I have many LLCs. All right, the next item is business banking account offer. They're going to introduce you to one of their preferred bankers in the state of Arizona, through which you have the option of setting up your LLC bank account. You don't have to do that through their preferred banker. If you do, sometimes they have incentives. You can open a bank account for your LLC with any bank you so choose to open one with. Just be advised that for reasons I've discussed in other videos, it's really important to open a bank account, whether it's through their preferred banker or otherwise, for your LLC, not to commingle funds. You want to retain the limited liability protection of the LLC. One of the steps in doing that is to have a separate bank account, separate from your personal bank account, have all revenue of the LLC flow through that bank account, and then all expenses of the LLC are paid out of the LLC bank account. It's important you do that. They're going to give you an offer to bank with one of their preferred bankers, but like I said, you can choose whomever you want. When you do open a bank account, just note you're going to need two things normally. Number one, the articles of organization, as I mentioned, and number two, the EIN or tax ID of the LLC. Okay, the next item and last item in the basic package, and these are of course available in all these packages, but this is the last item in the basic package, is business tax consultation. You'll have the opportunity after you go through this process to schedule I think it's about a half-hour consultation with a tax advisor. They're going to discuss tax saving strategies, bookkeeping issues, and very importantly, how you should elect to have your LLC taxed. If you don't make an election by default and you're a single member LLC, you're going to be taxed as a sole proprietorship. Or if you're a multi-member LLC, you're going to be taxed as a partnership. That may be fine in certain contexts. For example, if you're using your LLC for real estate purposes, I cannot give tax advice. Talk to this tax advisor or your own CPA about it. But you may also want to consider, if you're not going to use your LLC for real estate purposes, having your LLC taxed as an S corporation. You're going to save a lot of money on self-employment taxes. If you do that, I have a whole video on that. I can put a link to that video underneath this video in the description. But if you choose to elect to have your LLC taxed as an S Corp, you have to go through certain processes and file a form, which form is available, as you're going to see, in the standard and premium package. So we're going to go to the standard package next. All right, so let's discuss the standard package. As you can see, you're going to be paying busy $199 for the standard package. Question is, what are you getting for the extra $199 that was not included in the basic package? And the answers are as follows. Okay, number one, they're going to obtain for you an EIN business tax number. They're going to get this to you within the same business day if you form this on a business day, or the next business day if you form it on the weekend. The EIN stands for Employer Identification Number. Sometimes it's referred to as the tax ID for the LLC. As I stated, it's very important that you obtain this so you can open a bank account for your LLC. And also for paying payroll, if you're going to pay payroll or filing a tax return on behalf of your LLC. For these reasons and other reasons, you need this EIN. They will obtain it for you, as I said, usually within the same day or the next day. In addition, they will give you a Word version of an operating agreement. The operating agreement, in my opinion, if you watch my other videos, is the most important document you can have for your LLC. It essentially sets forth the rules of the road for your LLC. For example, how decisions are made, how profits are distributed, how members can come into the LLC, how members can leave the LLC, etc., etc. It's really important that you have an operating agreement. They're going to give one to you in your online access dashboard as soon as you complete this process. Like I said, it'll be in Word, so you can modify it. I should say that this operating agreement is a pretty bare bones operating agreement. It will serve the purpose of getting you started. It might be needed in some banks, in addition to the articles of organization and the EIN, to open a bank account so that you can show the banker who the members of the LLC are. However, if you need something more comprehensive than this, I have a video on how to obtain one for free. However, the free version is not modifiable. Once you go through the process and you create it, you cannot change it. I also have a related company in mind that sells legal templates at a fraction of the cost that you would pay an attorney, and yet they are attorney quality, they're attorney drafted, they're also in Word and therefore modifiable. The reason they are at a fraction of the cost that you would pay an attorney is because they do not come with legal advice. They do come with simple instructions. I'll put a link to that company's website underneath this video as well. Also included in the standard package is lifetime compliance alerts. So they will alert you if there is something that is due that they are monitoring for you, just as a reminder. I find it to be helpful. I think you should calendar reminders, of course, but they will give you some additional reminders. In addition, they're going to give you unlimited phone and email support for the life of your LLC. And lastly, included in the standard package is IRS Form 2553. So if you're going to choose to have your LLC taxed as an S corporation, you have to file this form within a certain period of time after you form the LLC. I go into more detail in my video about this, but there's a window. It's essentially 2 months and 15 days after the formation of your LLC. And if you miss that window, you have to file it within 2 months and 15 days of the beginning of each tax year. So it will apply for that tax year. They will help you complete this form and file it for you with the IRS, which I find to be very convenient. Okay, so that's the standard package. Next up is the premium package. As you can see, you're going to pay $100 extra over the standard package. The question is, what is included in the premium package that is not included in the standard package? And the answers are as follows. Number one, expedited filing. Right now in the state of Arizona, if you do not choose expedited filing, it'll be filed, essentially formed, in 4 weeks. If you choose it, it's going to be formed within 1 business day after filing. Now, I will say there are 3 other items that are included in this premium package that we're going to go over momentarily. But if we go through them and you're not interested in any of the other 3 items, but you do want expedited filing like I do, I personally prefer to get my LLCs up and running sooner rather than later, then I would just recommend choosing the standard package, which we're going to do in this hypothetical anyway, and then add expedited filing later for $50. That way you're paying only an extra $50 to get the only item you really want from the premium package, as opposed to paying $100 or $50 extra to get the other items that you don't want. All right, the next item that is included in the premium package is business contract templates. As discussed, in the standard package, you're going to get an operating agreement template. In the premium package, you're going to get several different templates for various transaction types in addition to the operating agreement. It's also going to be in Word, so you can modify them, fill in the blanks. You can keep them for as long as you like. You can add to them if you're a do-it-yourselfer and you think you can get by with just a basic contract template and add things suitable for your transaction. This may be of interest to you in the premium package. Okay, the additional items also include domain name and business email. So if you are going to have a website that's connected with this company, this LLC, then they will provide that as part of the premium package and then 1 business email to go with it. All right, the last item that is included in the premium package, is not in the standard package, is a business phone number. The first year is going to be free. If you want a phone number that is separate, say, from your cell phone number, they will connect you with a service. The first year will be free as part of the premium package, but as stated for the purposes of this video, I'm going to choose a standard package and go ahead and press Get Started. Okay, on this page, you're going to enter your company name information, also the business purpose. We're going to talk about that in a second. With respect to the LLC name, I'm going to use, in this example, a name I've used in other videos just to be consistent. For the designator, you have a few different options in the state of Arizona. I prefer the clean, short LLC, so I'm going to keep it at LLC. Just note that as it states down here, if the company name is not available, they will notify you and let you change the company name before they file your articles of organization. You may just have to make a tweak or 2. You can also use their free name check service, a link to which will be under this video in the description. And also, if you want to go to the state of Arizona's website, you can check to see whether someone is using your preferred name. But I would just recommend that if you're going to go ahead and submit the name and then let them get back to you and tell you, hey, it's not available, have a backup name or 2. So in this example, I'm using Chris Jackson Mobile Dog Grooming. As I said, the designator will be LLC. When you are representing your LLC to the public, it's important that you add this designator in your business cards, in your email, signature line, on your website, and otherwise, because you want the world to know, the public to know, the people and companies with whom or which you're doing business, that you're operating as an LLC rather than a sole proprietorship. Also in the state of Arizona, you have to indicate what is your business purpose. In my view, it's better to have a broad purpose so you don't have to change it later. You can choose whatever business purpose you like that is suitable for your LLC, but I recommend this particular business purpose, if you're not sure what to fill in here, to engage in any lawful activity for which a limited liability company may be organized and operated. Next. All right, this is the page on which you have the option to add expedited filing, as you can see, for an extra $50. If you don't want to do that, it'll take 4 weeks. It won't cost you anything extra. I'm going to go ahead and add expedited filing. Next. Okay, on this page, you're just going to enter your own personal information. This information is not going to be disclosed to the public. This is between you and Busy should they need to contact you. Next. Okay, on this page, you're going to choose your company address information. So this is the address for the company, the LLC itself. You have a few different options here. You can use your own home address if you like. Just note that whatever address you choose is going to be publicly available. Someone looking up your LLC is going to be able to determine what is the LLC address. If you're okay putting your home address in there, that's perfectly fine. You can do that. Also, if you're concerned that you may need a more professional address when you're dealing with the public, that home address will be the one that's publicly available. If it doesn't matter, then that's the cheapest. You can use your home address. Of course, you can use an office address if you have an office. You can use a retail location address if you have a retail location. If you want anonymity with respect to your home address, or you want something that is a little bit more professional, you have a few different options. For example, Busy will provide a professional business address and virtual mail service for $29 a month. You can cancel at any time. I personally use this for one of my LLCs. It's great. They will alert me when they receive my mail. They'll scan the mail. I can access it through my online access dashboard. Everything is in one place. It's really simple and easy. I also, for another entity, use a more upscale virtual office address in the sense that it is in a building that is close to my house, and I can go there if I want to and meet with clients and rent out, say, a conference room and office on an hourly basis. However, I have to go down there and pick up the mail myself or pay for them to send me the mail. It's really up to you. I have also used in the past a UPS store where it's essentially the office address for your LLC is the UPS store, and whatever box you choose in the UPS store will be the suite number. So you have that as an option as well. In my experience, that's more expensive generally than $29 a month, but you can do whatever you like. I'm personally going to go ahead and choose a virtual office address by Busy for the purposes of this video. And because I'm choosing that, I have to give Busy my actual contact address information, which I will fill in right here. Okay, so I've completed my own actual contact information address for Busy. Next. Okay, so as you can see here on this page, they're giving you the opportunity to add the contract library, the contract templates that are included in the premium package, and the business phone number is free for the first year for an extra $99. I recommend, if you're interested in either of these, just go back and choose the premium package from the outset. As you can see, I chose expedited filing, which is also part of the premium package. So essentially, if I added this on to the expedited filing, it'd be $149 for something that would have cost me just an extra $100 had I chose the premium package, and I would also get the domain name and business email. So I'm going to go ahead and say no thanks. All right, this is the page on which you have to enter the member information. The members are essentially the owners of the LLC. For the purposes of this walkthrough, I'm going to be a single member LLC. I think most people are single member LLCs that go through this. However, if you have, say, your spouse or a partner or more than one partners / members in the LLC, then you have the opportunity here to choose up to 6. I'm going to, before I choose one, which will be my situation here, I'm going to go ahead and select 2 just to give you an idea of what to do here. So, for example, let's just say I'm going to choose myself and my spouse, and we're going to each own this LLC 50-50. So I'm member number 1. I'm going to go ahead and check my name, and I'm going to use the assigned company address by Busy because I'm not sure how this address is going to be used in Arizona. I believe it is disclosed, so if that's important to you, as it is to me, I'm not going to leave my home address here. And then for percentage of ownership for me, I'm going to go ahead and choose 50%. Okay, then for member number 2, as you can see down here, you have to select edit. And then I would be entering my wife's name here and then choosing 50% for her, and then I would choose next. But in this case, as I said, I'm going to be a single member LLC, so I'm going to go ahead and select 1 here. Okay, also I just want to cover the fact that you can have a company as a member of your LLC. If a company, for example, you have a holding company structure, you watch my other video, and let's just say hypothetically, You have a Wyoming LLC that you are a member of, or you and your spouse or partner or partners are a member of. And then that Wyoming LLC has a subsidiary LLC, which is going to be this LLC here in Arizona, to form the LLC holding company structure. Then you would enter the information about the Wyoming LLC on this tab. Just keep in mind real quickly that if you're going to elect to have this LLC taxed as an S corporation, normally companies cannot be members of LLCs that elect to be taxed as an S corporation, with one exception, and that is a single member LLC that is disregarded for tax purposes. Lastly, before I move on, let's say you have a trust. Let's say you're setting up this Arizona LLC and your trust, your revocable trust, is going to be the member of the Arizona LLC. So you would choose the company tab here and just put in the trust name here and the address down here. But in my case, as I said, I'm going to be an individual single member LLC, and I'm going to choose that for this hypothetical. Next. All right, on this page, you have the opportunity to elect to have Busy be a registered agent, and they will do that for free for the first year. And then it's, as I stated before, there's guaranteed rates of $119 per year thereafter. They promise never to raise them for the life of the service, but for the first year, it's free. As I also stated, you could be your own registered agent. If you choose that, you can put your information down here. Just be aware that if you're going to choose to be your own registered agent, you're technically supposed to be available during normal business hours to receive service of process in person. For my purposes here, I'm going to go ahead and assign Busy. Next. All right, this is the page on which you're going to provide Busy with the information they need to obtain your employer identification number, your EIN, for your LLC. So in my case, I am not a foreign individual. If I was a foreign individual, I would click yes here, and I would understand that it's going to take up to 3 months, maybe less, maybe more, and press agree, and they will obtain the EIN for your LLC, even though it's owned by a non-resident of the United States. But for our purposes, I'm stating no, I am not a foreign individual. I'm going to put in my social security number down here. Okay, and once you enter your social security number, you have to also provide an address. So you can choose your home address, or you can choose, in my case, because I'm having Busy as my virtual office address, I can choose that address as well here. Just keep in mind that this is technically an internal document. It's not going to be posted publicly. However, the document that you're going to receive in your online access dashboard that comes from the IRS, it is going to have your name at the top. It's going to have the LLC name, and it's going to have an address. And that address can be, like I said, your home address, or if you have a business address separate from your home address, you can choose that. Just keep in mind that that document, although it's not publicly available, you will be presenting that document to, for example, a bank, and sometimes you have to present it to a vendor or a customer when you're setting up accounts. So if you don't want to have your home address on that document, you can choose a separate business address. That's what I'm going to do in this example. Next. Okay, on this page, they discuss what is the incentive to bank with Bank of America, their preferred banker. And as you can see here, depending upon how much you deposit in the LLC bank account, Bank of America will add to that $100 or $200 or $300, depending upon the amount of the deposit. You can discuss this information with this B of A representative at any time. I'm not going to schedule it now. I'm going to say no, not at this time. Just keep in mind that you cannot actually open the bank account until, one, you have a file stamp copy of your articles of organization and you have your EIN. And perhaps in some cases a copy of your operating agreement so you can demonstrate to the bank who the members of the LLC are. Next. All right, this is the page where they go over what's included in this tax strategy free consultation. We discussed this before. How's your LLC taxed? How to choose the proper IRS tax election, commonly missed tax deductions, bookkeeping, how to reduce the chances of an audit, how to reduce self-employment taxes. Sure, I think it is important that you have this conversation whether you have a CPA or not. At the very minimum, it may generate some questions that you can present to your own CPA. It's possible that this tax consultation will provide you with information your CPA did not. Next. All right, in this page, they're giving you the opportunity to pay them an extra $99 so they will identify the licenses or permits that you may or may not need for your LLC. I'll just say that not every LLC needs a license or permit. It depends on the type of business. It depends upon the city in which you are operating. It depends upon the county and the state. I personally would just look this up myself after I form my LLC. Do I need a license or permit? I would start at the city's website, then go to the county's website, And that is something that I'm going to say I'm going to do the work myself, but if you want to pay them the extra $99, they can do it for you. Next. All right, in this page, it is a summary of essentially everything you ordered. You want to make sure you look at everything and confirm it is correct and check the charges here. Everything looks good. Next. Okay, in this page, you enter your credit card information, your billing address, and you would come over here and click this box here that you agree to the legal statement and cancellation policy, which I know you're going to read word for word, and then you select complete and pay. And once you do that, they will start the process of filing your articles of organization in the state of Arizona, and they will give you access to your online access dashboard, and you're essentially off to the races. All right, now that you formed your LLC, you're probably wondering, what do I do next? Fortunately, I have a video that covers that topic. I'll put a link to that video underneath this video in the description. I also have a comprehensive next steps guide, which you might find useful. I'll put a link to that as well under this video. And if you like this video, I ask you to give me the thumbs up. If you have any questions about the video, put them in the comments section. I get to them on a regular basis. And if you want more content like this, I ask you to kindly subscribe to my channel. And for that, I say thank you. And I wish you and your LLC and your business all the best. Have a great day.